In Project Zomboid, there are several radio transmissions talking about the airborne virus and how unfortunately almost nobody is safe. In the normal game, your character is in fact one of the few who is immune, but what if you weren't? In order to answer this question, I have downloaded the Susceptible mod. This means that being around zombies without face protection can actually lead to getting infected. Additionally, I'm running a couple of different mods, such as randomized zombies, since I feel like in a realistic zombie apocalypse scenario, they wouldn't all move at the same speed. On top of this, to simulate the effects of the outbreak, I'm also playing with random sound events. This is going to get very annoying very fast with the sirens. Now, on my first day, I decided I should start in Louisville. There was no reason to actually start here, but I just wanted to. I wanted to add a little bit of challenge, but not too much. So, I immediately made cloth face masks, as I was going to need plenty of them. Cloth face masks are pretty bad. They're not very durable, so I decided to make about 5 of them before scouting out my home. I also disabled the mini-map for this as I wanted it to be extra realistic. For the first time in quite a few challenge runs, I've actually had the chance to watch Life and Living TV. Opening up my map here, you can see that I am near Louisville. While I'm not in the big city area, I am directly above the burnt down neighborhood and I'm near the border. I'm even near Lake. If I was you, I would suggest getting used to the siren sound, as it's gonna be almost constant throughout the gameplay. Now, for this series, I originally intended for it to have a more farming slash foraging slash trapping focus, as it's something I rarely do. So starting on a farmhouse was actually pretty lucky. Thankfully for me, there weren't a lot of zombies around the area, but there was also almost no loot. Considering where I am on the map, I really only had 2 options as to where I could search for loot. I could check out the burnt neighborhood or the Louisville music concert. Now, considering how some zombies have a chance of being a tough, superhuman strength sprinter, I decided I would go to the place with the least population first, the burnt neighborhood. As you could probably expect from a burnt down neighborhood, the loot really wasn't good. The best thing I found was really a gas mask and a knife. This meant that I would have to go to the concert to get some food. However, it was getting pretty late and I would rather not risk being drowsy when I'm in combat with a sprinter. So I decided instead I should start cleaning up my house. After all, I figured this would be the best place to make my base. After that bit of cleaning and organization, I was left with quite a few trash bags. This would be helpful in the future as, out here, my only chance of getting water for a long-term survival would be with rain collector barrels, and I would probably need a lot of them. This is where life and living comes in. If I managed to catch just about every single broadcast, I would get enough carpentry skill to start building rain collector barrels in the early game. This would make a huge difference as we start off in one of the rainiest seasons. From my last series, I figured out the importance of tailoring. I decided I would cut up some clothing already. Day 2 starts off with me waking up God knows when. Until I get a watch, which I completely forgot to pick up from the garage, I would have actually no clue what time it is. And being a restful sleeper plus wakeful character, I wouldn't need to sleep much. I started off the morning of day 2 by watching Life and Living. Unfortunately, it wasn't the carpentry show, but I won't reject some free experience in cooking. Unlike my hardcore series, I actually didn't have to fear the fog so much this time around. I decided to go outside as I saw on my map that there was a small shed nearby. In an unusual stroke of luck for my Project Zomboid games, there was a generator right here. This was possibly the best place that a generator could spawn, considering how close it was to my house and how isolated my house was from the rest of the world. Essentially meaning that a generator spawned in the one place where I wouldn't need a car to bring it back. Alongside the generator, I also decided to steal some furniture as it would probably come in handy later. I was fully intending on expanding this house or modifying it slightly because I just want to build a base this time. Then, in probably the most realistic moment I've ever seen in Project Zomboid, my character got randomly drowsy and I decided I should take a nap. Now that I was no longer sleepy, I started making my way over to the concert area. On my way to the concert area itself, found a couple of cars in pretty good condition. None of them had gas, but a few of them even had keys. Soon enough, I found myself at the entrance to the hedge maze area, or corn maze. No clue what this place actually is, but I did know that there was a bit of a fruit market nearby where I could get some fresh food. I then spotted 2 rain collector barrels, and I knew I would have to steal them. Unfortunately for me, there appears to have been a survivor event nearby. While it's annoying that I'll have to kill a couple more zombies, it's pretty nice that one of them had an Alice pack, which is one of the better backpacks in the game. Finally back at my own house. It feels pretty good after going on such a looting run. Unlike the burnt neighborhood, I actually found quite a lot of good items this time around, and I was feeling much more prepared for the future about to come. I spent the rest of my day just putting away loot I had found in its respective places. I didn't manage to bring back the rain collector barrels, but I brought back enough things. Medication, tons of fresh food, some packaged food, and a new backpack. While I had unfortunately missed one of today's Life and Living episodes, I think it's better to have food than to watch TV. Now, I was aware that this food wasn't gonna last me forever. My best chance was, of course, to start my own farm. But that was for tomorrow. I started day 3 by waking up at 3:30 in the morning and reading while waiting for Life and Living to come on. Considering how dark it is outside, it's really not worth it to go there. The last thing I need is to be ambushed by a random tough sprinter and not even know where he came from. In case you haven't realized, I never speed up time while I'm watching TV. This is because there is a bug in the game. If you do watch TV while in fast forward mode, you actually won't gain all of the experience from the broadcast. And then I left my house without the mask, which means my run could have very well ended right here. I had decided that today I would try and check out these other houses near this area. I wasn't sure what would be there, and I was just hoping it wasn't gonna be zombies. Upon arriving, it turned out to just be a normal house. I looted the entire house, which gave me quite a bit more canned food. There were some crossbow bolts upstairs, and then I took a nap, because that's just how my character is. Inside there was Laboratory Equipment Volume 2. This is actually one of the magazines I need to craft the zombie virus vaccine, which would definitely be a goal for later. Then I arrived at the second house. This one seemed to be in much worse condition, but there was a car out back. I entered the home and it was in pretty awful condition. I had missed the Life and Living broadcast, but that didn't really matter so much now. I decided I would take these flags as they would look pretty cool back at base. After all, if I'm gonna be making a base, I might as well add some cool decoration. There was also a Hunter magazine which allows me to craft traps. This would be useful later when I need protein, and since I'm not near any body of water, I can't just go fishing. The house itself didn't have much loot, but there was a gun suicide inside. Free weapons and ammo. There was also a pretty cool weapons locker which I decided I should take home with me. Even though I was over-encumbered, I decided to be greedy. I wanted to break into this little back storage house so I could see what's inside. Ideally, some tools. Inside the shed, there wasn't much, but there was an axe, which is a pretty good weapon, and there was also an industrial pipe wrench. There were more things that I would have to come back to get later, so I stole this guy's giant American flag and decided to go back home.